Hey, television family, good to see you again. We're back at it, 10th day of May, 2023. This is Wake Up Wenatchee Valley. I am Dan Kuntz. I will look briefly at my calendar. It's Wednesday. There it is, Winning Wednesday, as performed by Rock and Roll Hall of Famer Diana Ross. Available for you to download on iTunes and Spotify. No, it's not. What do we have for you today? We got Jones of Washington, their tasting room. High quality, good stuff. You don't have to be an eniophile to really enjoy the great vintages and the great wines that Jones of Washington cranks out. We visited with the head winemaker, Victor, a couple weeks ago, and they gave us a $50 gift card to give to you. $50, $50 gift card to the Jones of Washington Winery Tasting Room at the Pybus Public Market. And that's what's up for grabs today. Winner at ncwlife.com, winner at ncwlife.com. That's the way you do it. Yeah, email us, and then I print them all up, cut them into little slips, and we draw one name out of the hat, and they're the winner. There are some rules, and you probably are familiar with them by now. First of all, because it's Jones of Winery and it's the tasting room, you got to be at least 21, obviously, to win this prize. I don't want to get in trouble with the folks who would get me in trouble. Number two, employees of Solion Broadcasting and Local Telecommunications and their immediate families are not eligible. Sorry, Alicia. And if you do not enter the contest, you cannot win the contest. You want a $50 gift card to the Jones of Washington Tasting Room at the Pybus Public Market? Send me an email, winner at ncwlife.com. Again, you can enter, it's one entry per email address, so if you have more than one email address, that's cool. Don't have any problems with that. You just can't enter continuously using the same email address. We keep track of these things. Do the drawing a little bit later on. Again, a $50 gift card to our friends at Jones of Washington. You're going to meet Victor, the head winemaker, by the way, a little bit later on. This guy, not only he's smart, and he knows what he's doing. So that puts him two up on me, actually, if I think about it. Jones of Washington, thank you very much for the gift card, and it could be yours if you enter, winner at ncwlife.com. It is a beautiful morning. It's going to be a beautiful day. It's going to be really hard to stay inside today, folks. Just perfect. Gobs of sunshine, a nice mild mid-70s for the afternoon high. Looks good on Thursday. Friday, not too bad as we start bumping up into the 80s, but this well-advertised high-pressure system is really going to start getting pretty well entrenched by the weekend. And they say it's going to last for quite some time. That's the good news. The bad news is it's going to increase the snowmelt, and it's going to start filling up those streams and the tributaries for the rivers because the snow still hasn't melted in the higher elevations, and the water is cold. And that's a combination I get worried about when we have suddenly very hot weather and people are just drawn to the water. You could get in some serious trouble real quick if you just jump into some cold, cold water. Temperatures in the water are in the 40s, some locations even in the 30s. It can do a real number to you. So anyway, forecast details are coming up. You're going to like it. And in the back half of the program, Joel Myrene. One more visit with Joel. Of course, he is putting on the Apple Valley Vinyl Record Expo this Saturday for you vinyl junkies out there. You want to see who else is in it collecting vinyl records and playing them, buying, selling, trading, talking. Joel Myrene is putting the whole thing together. It's this Saturday. Joel's going to give you those details. I'm looking forward to it. I'm going to be there. Of course, I'm going to be there. That talk with Joel coming up in the back half of the program. 4 minutes after the hour. Let's go. I can't even imagine how beautiful the shot's going to be today. There we go. From the Wenatchee Heights camera, giving East Wenatchee most of the love today. Columbia River is still up there. I don't want to gild the obvious lily, but obviously it's up on the banks, and it will continue to be, and it's really going to get really cold and even higher still with this snowmelt that's coming up really beginning tomorrow. We'll keep a close eye on the streams, especially the Wenatchee River and the Antioch River, as they're going to go right back up again. They've gone down the last few days with the cooler weather, but that's going to change. Good morning to the valley. Good morning to our friends in the Rock Island area from our Rock Island camera. Rock Island down below you. Up above is the Malaga area. You can see, almost see, our Wenatchee Heights camera and the Columbia River there. If you go down to the Kirby Billingsley Hydro Park, just launching your boat, you'll see how high and how fast the water is there. But a beautiful view from our Rock Island camera. You can see a little bit of the Rock Island ponds at the bottom of your screen. Beautiful camera there. So this is a stunning shot. Lake Wenatchee chimes in. Look at that. Gorgeous. Look at the sun reflecting, or the mountains reflecting off the placid waters of Lake Wenatchee. Snow still up on that north face of Dirty Face Mountain. Lake Wenatchee is about 2,200 feet above sea level, the lake itself. Dirty Face, the summit, is over 5,000 feet in elevation. So, yeah, they're still going to have some snow melt. I have a feeling if we revisit this camera tomorrow at this time, we're going to see a lot less snow on the top of Dirty Face Mountain. And Omi Gardens checks in as we look out. That's a great shot there. That's zoomed all the way back. Baker Flats Industrial Park, the orchards hanging in there. Hope everybody has a good year growing your fruits and your vegetables. It's supposed to be an excellent year for asparagus, which makes me really happy because that's one of my favorite vegetables. Good morning to Baker Flats and the folks on the Douglas County side of the river from our Omi Gardens camera. And boy, Omi Gardens is going to be a great place to visit too. The perfect combination of sunshine and shade. From the National Weather Service. Again, no secret here. We've been telling you about this for quite some time. Sunshine and 75 today. We got to 69 yesterday, but we had we had some cloud cover. Not today. 75 our forecast high, 51 for the overnight low. We bump it up to 78 on Thursday. Into the 80s we go on Friday. And I did a little homework this morning. Saturday's forecast high of 90 would be a new record. The record for Saturday is 89. That was set back in 1963. The forecast high for Sunday is 93. That would be an old record, a new record, I should say. The old record, 89 in 1963. Apparently, they had a pretty warm May then. Monday's forecast high of 93 would break the old record of 90. That was set back in 1975. And if we get to 93 on Tuesday, that would tie the record high on Tuesday, which was 93 degrees in 2001. So get ready for the hot weather. Not bad, beautiful today, beautiful Thursday, pretty darn nice on Friday, a little bit warmer. And then I think we start talking hot weather. Once we get to that 90-degree mark, I think most people consider that hot. At your forecast, 7 minutes after the hour, come right back with us. We'll have the news. You're watching Wake Up Wenatchee Valley on the NCW Life Channel.
I had had a seizure in the middle of the night, and they rushed me to the hospital and decided to induce labor to try to get the baby out. The outpouring of love and support I got from Confluence Health. My coworkers coming to the ICU to be with me. For me, it's the work family. It's just incredible to have support no matter what I'm going through in my personal life, my own health.
It's camping season and nobody cares more than Click It RV, giving huge discounts on all inventory. Like a 2022 Coachman Clipper discounted over $11,000, or a 2022 Forest River Riverstone fifth wheel discounted over $60,000. And you heard it right. There's no payments till August, huge discounts, and a lifetime warranty. And for a limited time, Click It RV has teamed up with the banks to offer an exclusive 4.99% interest. So don't miss the Click It RV Want to See You camping event going on now on Frontage Road.
Hey, welcome back to Save Mart. What can we help you find today?
We're looking for a mattress.
Oh, right this way. We got a large selection. We have this pillow top here.
Comfortable.
We have more to choose from down here. I think I have the perfect one over here for you.
I guess we'll take this one.
You'll find it at Save Mart. Full service at a low, low price.
What's the best way to attract a wide variety of beautiful birds to your backyard? By offering the birds the right foods in expertly designed bird feeders from Wild Birds Unlimited. Whether you've been feeding the birds for a while or are just getting started, let our backyard bird feeding specialists show you how to add a little joy to your life and make nature a part of every day. Shop now for exclusive bird foods, feeders, hardware, and more. Wild Birds Unlimited. Products designed by experts. Trusted local advice.
Nothing but sunshine, 48 degrees, mid-70s today. Gorgeous, gorgeous day. Beautiful Thursday. Not bad Friday. Hot on Saturday and hot right through most of next week, they tell us. It's just about 10 minutes after the hour. Next Monday marks the start of filing period for the upcoming August 1st primary election. More than 100 elected positions are up for a vote in Chelan County, about 75 in Douglas County. That includes 94 school board seats in 20 school districts. Every seat on the Wenatchee School Board is up for election this year, thanks to a redistricting that the board approved of back in 2022. Multiple city council seats, the mayor's offices in both Wenatchee and East Wenatchee also on the ballot. Of course, Wenatchee Mayor Frank Kuntz announced earlier this year he will not seek a fourth term. In East Wenatchee, Mayor Jerry Lee Crawford will campaign for a second term. Candidates can file with their local auditor's office starting Monday, May 15th. The window closes at 5 o'clock on Friday, May 19th. Construction work at the Chelan County Courthouse has made it rather difficult to get in and out of the courthouse for about a year or so, but that's about ready to change. The new, more secure entry point should be open within a couple of weeks. Previously, the old courthouse had 4 unmonitored doors, but now all visitor traffic will be routed through a secure checkpoint at the Regional Justice Center, which of course is attached to the courthouse. The facilities manager for Chelan County told county commissioners on Monday the work is almost done.
The single point of entry vestibule everything's cooking along. There are a lot of things to fall into place, but if everything runs out like it's scheduled right now, we should be open by June 1 for operation fully. We'll still have the concrete to do and some landscaping to do, but the structure itself will be working with all the electronics cameras. And at first, we're going to get the security and guard stations that are probably going to be on temporary desks until they figure out how the flow is going to work and decide what they really want and where. And then we'll order furniture. That'll be the last piece. So that's moving along really well.
City of Wenatchee is holding their annual recycling event this Saturday for residents of the city. Items accepted at the event include automotive batteries, scrap iron, refrigerators, air conditioners, appliances, televisions, laptops, computers, monitors. And city residents can also dispose of up to 15 passenger and light truck tires until the trailers are full. That usually doesn't take very long. 2 standard size pickups of yard waste, brush, tree limbs, and grass clippings will also be accepted at the Stemilt Organic Recycling location at 1885 South Wenatchee Avenue. That's free. Now, not everything may be recycled, and residents should not bring things like propane tanks, furniture, liquids, paints, aerosols, that kind of deal. The event is held at the city lot on South Wenatchee Avenue, not too far from the Humane Society. It runs from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. this Saturday, and you must bring proof that you actually live in the city of Wenatchee. Ben Carson, the former Republican presidential candidate and an official with the Trump administration, is coming to town. He's going to speak at a Wenatchee fundraiser for an anti-abortion pregnancy service. Life Choices of the Wenatchee Valley hosts the fundraiser at 6 o'clock Friday at the Wenatchee Convention Center. Carson is a known anti-abortion campaigner who first gained fame as a pediatric neurosurgeon at Johns Hopkins Children's Center. He ran for the presidency in 2016, lost the primary to Donald Trump, after which he served as Trump's Secretary of Housing and Urban Development. The nonprofit Life Choices has operated in the Wenatchee Valley under that name since 2010. It was founded in 1983, their mission of counseling pregnant women away from choosing abortion. The beloved Pybus Public Market turns 10 years old this week, but it started its life, as you know, as an ironworks. Now, the market will celebrate its anniversary with a Saturday celebration. General Manager Travis Hornby says some parts of the facility, however, are showing their age, such as the west parking lot. I had a chance to visit with my good friend Travis to talk about some of the improvements that are on the docket.
Well, this is the original parking lot back when you mentioned it was a steel mill, and one of our capital campaigns is to redo this entire parking lot. As you can see, it's falling apart. It's a hazard. It's also the current home of the farmers market, and so we want to redo the whole entire thing, make it environmentally sound and safe for the future, but also the permanent home for farmers market, so that we can also have farm to table for all, because they work with the EBT and all those other programs to bring fresh fruit and vegetables to everyone in our valley, and it's a wonderful thing.
You mentioned environmentally friendly.
Yep.
Of course, the Pybus Public Market is at the very bottom of the valley,
yeah,
and water flows downhill, and there's probably some infrastructure stuff down below. A lot of the stuff that you're talking about isn't going to be aesthetically visible to the public, correct?
No, so most of it is we're doing pavers across the whole thing, so we're not doing concrete. Many reasons for that, but one of the reasons is environmental. We're also doing oil water separation, so most of the money is being spent that most people will never see. We're also doing a bunch of additional infrastructure stuff along the edges, so there'll be water and power for the farmers market, but then also we can look at doing other community events outside. night markets, other art events that require more power, more water to have those kind of things. So we're really excited about it. It gives more opportunity for outdoor meeting spaces for us. It's not just a parking lot, it is a community outdoor meeting space.
If you've ever come down to the farmer's market, and I'm down here pretty much every Saturday during growing season, which by the way is now, you can come get asparagus here real quick. They have to bring their own tents, they have to set up their own tents.
Yep.
It's a pain in the butt.
Yep.
And part of the things that you're going to do is you're going to have permanent anchors, so all you have to do is bring the tents and they can anchor them down.
So one of the things is we will have permanent anchors inside that'll be implanted inside the pavers, and then they don't have to bring those heavy 5-gallon buckets of water or concrete and haul those around. They'll just be able to put a strap into it. It'll be a smooth operation. So that's really exciting. We're a little bit short in funding, so we're also having a capital campaign over the next 18 months trying to raise money. Couple of things happening at Hellbent Brewery right behind us over here. May 3rd is a Wednesday. Do good, drink beer. Come down to Pybus. Drink a beer, we get $1. Buy a 6-pack or a 4-pack, we get $2.
Wow.
So come down all day, tip back a soda, a Big Kid soda, and raise some money for Pybus. And then we're having our 10-year anniversary.
Has it really been a decade?
On the 13th of May as well. Pretty exciting. Probably one of the last times we'll have farmers market in this parking lot. We're doing the farmers market, a dunk take. There'll be cookies. It'll be a good little celebration down here.
Sounds like a party to me, and that's what's making news. On this Wednesday morning, the whole crew will be going at it again, so you can watch the news tonight at 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock, and 10 o'clock on television, also on our YouTube page and our Facebook page. And we have our news up and running on our homepage at ncwlife.com, and reach out to us if there's a news tip. We'd love to hear from you. Facebook, email, homepage, telephone, we got them all. When we come back, Kraken, they didn't show up until the third period, and by that time, it was too late. But a good Tuesday for the Mariners. Sports is next. You're watching Wake Up in Anchi Valley on the NCW Life channel.
The Clearwater Saloon and Casino has the best Vegas-style games in East Wenatchee. Come enjoy yourself and discover the nightly action. Win big and meet new friends at the Clearwater Saloon and Casino.
In 1963, Coastal opened its doors. 60 years later, we have you to thank for our continued success, and we're still proud to be just what your country needs.
Today, you'll find everything from pants and boots to fencing, feed, and more. From brands you know and trust like Carhartt, Wrangler, Ariat, Georgia Boot, DeWalt, and Quadrifier. Join the celebration. Stop by, scan the QR code, or enter online to win big prizes. Visit Coastal today or find us online at coastalcountry.com.
18 minutes after the hour, the Stars have evened their Stanley Cup playoff series with the Kraken. The final last night, 6-3 in the Emerald City. The Stars scored first in the first period, added 3 more in the second, and then the Kraken decided to start playing hockey. The result, a rather subdued crowd at Climate Pledge Arena, and an even series through 4 games as it shifts back to Dallas.
Well, they certainly have been a little off here tonight. Wenberg puts one towards the net, out in front, score! One touch! Schwartz off the feed from Everly on the board. Seattle, 8:14 to go in the second. Chips it to the goal line. A minute to go in the second. Alexiak, stick lift by Hintz. Off to Ben, wrist shot, save. The rebound, score! Rumpe Hintz. His stick lift created the turnover, and his hustle goal. Delayed penalty upcoming on Dallas. Martin Jones for the bench. The extra attacker is on. Shot, score! Jaden Schwartz does it again. And it's 5-2. 16:36 to go. Played to Dunn. Across, one-time drive. Score! Who knows? Johnny Gord lays it softly around. McCann is there. Fluttering to the outside of the net. Unable to control was Ottinger. It's poked free. The net empty. After it is Domi. He'll walk it in and guide it in for the empty net. Icer. 2 games apiece with a big response win. After losing game 3 7-2, the final in Game 4. 6-3 Stars, and they will head home 2 games apiece.
Coach Dave Haxtell said it was the Stars who came out with all the energy. The Kraken didn't show signs of life until the third period.
First period, we righted the ship a little bit as we got into the latter part of the period, but in reality, kind of indicative of our first period really was the minute of power play time that we had, right? That ends up instead of turning the game in our favor, whether you score or not on that power play, being able to continue to build some momentum and push the right direction. We're sloppy on the power play, ends up in a 4-on-4 going back to a power play the other way, and that's that ends up being the first goal against of the game. So that's a little bit indicative of our first period. Second period, we were just late to everything. I mean, we were a step behind in terms of getting there offensively, forecheck wise, and on the flip side, defensively, we were late getting there.
Jaden Schwartz scored 2 of Seattle's goals and said starting out in a 4-0 hole didn't help us much.
Well, we didn't get to our game till the third period. They had a higher desperation to start the game, executed better. They were the more aggressive team, and we were on our heels and weren't able to get much going offensively and spending enough time in the O-zone. Then in the third, we could have scored 4 or 5 goals when we got to our game. We had good looks. Just got to be ready from the get-go.
So we're tied at 2 games apiece. Game 5 is Thursday night in Dallas at 6:30 on TNT. Mariners got another great pitching performance, 5-0. They shut out Texas last night at T-Mobile Park. George Kirby tied a career high with 9 strikeouts over 7 innings to pick up his 4th win of the season. Tom Murphy and Ty France did the damage at the plate.
Outfield straight away for Ty. A lot of room out there. 1-0 pitch. And he finds it through the 6-hole left side. Murph scores, Haggerty flying. Here's the throw for the left fielder, and it is. It hit the bat. They catch a break. Haggerty's in safely. 2-0 Mariners. He took a shot and he drives it high, deep, and bye-bye. Tom Murphy. The Murph with his first home run, and it couldn't come at a better time. A 2-run shot, and the Mariners have a 4-0 lead. France at third, Kelnick at second, Teoscar Hernandez at first. That's pretty much what the doctor ordered. It drives back Garcia on the track. Tagging is Ty. He'll score. J.K. digging for third. He's going to get there standing. Nicely done by A.J. Pollock. And the Mariners have a 5-0 lead. Looking for that third out. 2-1 to Brad Miller. Ground ball Wong. This will do it right here. Mariners complete a shutout of the first place Texas Rangers. 5-0 final. Mariners win this ball game, even the series. They're back to 500 at 18-18. Brilliant performance by George Kirby, Edge.
Yeah, 9 strikeouts against the lineup that leads Major League Baseball in runs scored, and he blanked them tonight.
Kirby gave way to Justin Topa, and then Justin Topa gave way to Juan Thehan to hold on for the victory. Needless to say, manager Scott Service says our pitching right now is pretty good.
Our pitching's unbelievable. We are rolling right now, night after night. I sit up here and just rave about what I'm watching, and I hope everybody realizes how talented these guys really are, and they are performing, executing. They continue to focus on the right things and get better as we watch them. So another awesome outing by George tonight. Obviously, the 9 punch outs, no walks, against a really good offensive club. They've been putting numbers up. They're balanced. They got power, and the combination, getting all of his pitches working, but obviously relying on the fastball, and his location of it is just fantastic. So awesome job by him. Obviously, bullpen after him, and we got some big hits. We got a big 2-out hit by Ty. Murph had a nice night. Got a sac fly with the guy on third. Little things.
They wrap up their 3-game series with a matinee. The roof will be open at T-Mobile Park, 1240 on Root Sports Northwest. Eastmont held up their end of the bargain in the Big 9 district play in baseball yesterday. Wenatchee could not advance. Kyle Smith driving home Michael Singleton with what proved to be the game-winning run for Eastmont in the bottom of the 6th inning. They beat Ike 3-2.
Oh, come on, Mike. Come on.
The Wildcats will host the Davis Pirates Friday at 5 o'clock. The Pirates scoring the game-winning run in the bottom of the 7th to knock out the Panthers 4-3. Moses Lake plays at West Valley Friday for the district championship. The District 6 2B tournament saw Brewster beat Okanagan to end the Bulldogs season last night. Brewster advances to state with the win and awaits today's winner between Tonasket and Liberty Bell for the district championship Saturday afternoon at historic Recreation Park. Waterville Mansfield advances to the District 6 1B championship with an 8-5 win over Moses Lake Christian. They'll face Riverside Christian in Friday's title game. The Crusaders edging Pateros 1-0. 16, the magic number for two teams in the District 6 2B fast pitch softball tournament yesterday. Orville topped Tonasket 16-1. Lake Roosevelt beat Liberty Bell 16-0 to advance to the semifinals. The Hornets will visit Okanagan Friday at 4:30. The Raiders play at Brewster. Royal edged Eastmont in a non-league game last night with a bases-loaded hit batsman in the 7th inning. They won 1-0. Wenatchee traveled to Sunnyside and picked up a 14-6 victory. The Panthers' fourth straight win. Elmira Cooley Heartline all over Quincy in a non-league tilt. Moses Lake soccer season came to an end last night in the district play-in round. They lost to Davis 6-0. The Pirates will host Sunnyside Thursday in the first round of the District 6 4A tournament after the Grizzlies shut out Eisenhower 4-0. Of course, it's the Wildcats and the Panthers for the district championship tomorrow night, 6 o'clock in East Wenatchee. We will have the game live on our Facebook page, getting going at 6 o'clock. It'll be on TV starting at 6:30. And finally, the District 6 1A, 2B, 1B tournament resumes today. It is Chelan at Okanagan. Tonasket hosts Manson. The semifinals will be played at Leave Off the Field at the Apple Bowl between Quincy and Bridgeport. That'll be at 6, followed by Cascade and Brewster at 8. And those are just some of the games that people are playing on this 10th day of May. For our obscure holiday, it's National Clean Up Your Room Day. I heard that a lot growing up. But National Clean Up Your Room Day, we associate it with children and teenagers keeping a messy room. Parents are messy too. This isn't just for the kids out there. Parents have a tendency to keep their bedroom pretty messy at times too. So, you know, when kids complain about having to do the chores, you kids might want to remind, hey, Mom and Dad, your room ain't looking real good either. When you really clean your room, gives you all kinds. First of all, if you really do a good job, and it's spring, a lot of people do spring cleaning, that you get that little endorphin release. You're like, hey, I accomplished something. My room is all nice and clean. Now, you can also find stuff that you forgot you had. Maybe you realize you got too much stuff to begin with. I don't know. And by the way, scientists say cleaning your room is a relaxing thing. Of course, the easiest thing is to not make it messy in the first place, but we won't go into that. Today is National Clean Up Your Room Day. I will do it, I promise. 27 minutes after the hour. Today in history, 249 years ago today, Louis XVI of France marries Marie Antoinette. This marriage would not end well for either one of them. He was 19, she was 18. I have no idea if they served cake at the wedding reception. Don't do it. Don't do it. Anybody present wish to state why these two shouldn't be? I don't know. Anyway, they got married on this day 249 years ago today. Our first war after the Revolutionary War was a big one. 222 years ago, if you know the Marine hymn, they talk about the shores of Tripoli. This was the Barbary War. The Barbary pirates of Tripoli declare war on the United States of America and Sweden, the U.S. and Sweden. What was happening, they were, sending their ships over to the area of Tripoli, Algiers, and Tunis, and Morocco. And then the pirates would take over the ship and kidnap the crew and demand ransom from the United States. And Thomas Jefferson said, ain't gonna do that. And so we went to war with them, and it worked out really good for the United States. It was the first war that the United States fought as the United States and not individual armies from Georgia and New York and Virginia and Rhode Island. It was the United States of America as a country with a naval battle and things like that, and it proved our naval superiority. It also made the rest of Europe figure out that, okay, you don't want to screw with the United States. Not a very good idea. And the United States Navy and the United States Marines really became a permanent part of the American military establishment because of the Barbary War, which got going on this date in 1801. 127 years ago today, a real game changer, the Transcontinental Railroad was completed. They drove the Golden Spike into the ground at Summit, Utah. They built one direction, they built the other direction, they got together, and boom, and you could travel all the way across this country on train beginning on this date in 1869. 115 years ago today, Anna Jarvis was her name. She wanted to honor her mother, and she chose this particular day because that was the anniversary of her mother's death. And they had a little celebration at the Andrews Methodist Baptist Church in Grafton, West Virginia on the morning of May 10th, 1908 for Mother's Day. They had a big celebration on that exact same day in Philadelphia. And Mother's Day was born. But for Anna Jarvis, it was a bittersweet thing. As the years went on and the floral companies and the greeting card companies realized there's money to be made, Anna Jarvis herself made no money on founding Mother's Day. She got more and more upset. And at one point, towards the end of her life, Anna Jarvis tried to get Mother's Day rescinded because she didn't like the commercialization of Mother's Day. That didn't happen. Anna Jarvis eventually died broke in a sanitarium. Her funeral expenses and her burial expenses were paid for by floral and greeting card companies. And Anna Jarvis, the woman who founded Mother's Day, never married and never had children of her own. The first Mother's Day on this date, back in 1910. The guy who hung around way too long. He started out great guns. J. Edgar Hoover, who was appointed as the head of the Federal Bureau of Investigation on May 10th, 1924, 99 years ago today. Started out great guns, modernized the FBI, gave them weapons. They weren't even allowed to carry guns. Fought the bootleggers during Prohibition and raised his profile, and then he kind of got out of control. And by out of control, I mean really out of control. He was the director of the FBI for 48 years. He passed mandatory retirement age, and they just kept letting him do his job. Read the book, G-Man. It just won the Pulitzer Prize a couple of days ago for the best biography of the year. I'm reading it as we speak. I'm almost done with it. It's a fascinating book. It's the story of J. Edgar Hoover and the FBI. But towards the mid-50s on, he kind of got out of control. Did some things that were so unconstitutional and against the law, it's hard to say it. J. Edgar Hoover got the gig and stayed FBI director until he died 48 years later. That's why you don't get to be the director of the FBI for life anymore. The phony war came to an end on May 10th, 1940. The phony war, of course, Nazis invaded Poland in September of 1939. Great Britain and France declared war on Nazi Germany. And then for the next 8 months, nothing happened. Just nothing. And then that all came to an end on May 10th, 1940, when, Nazi Germany said, time to go back to work. And they invaded France and Belgium and Luxembourg, and all of a sudden the war was back on. They called it the phony war, that period of time between September of 1939 and May of 1940, because they just sat there on their thumbs waiting for somebody to make a move. Nazi Germany made their move. Winston Churchill became the Prime Minister of Great Britain. And finally, happy 48th birthday to the Betamax. We had a Betamax growing up. When it became time in the mid-1970s to buy a home video recorder, we had to choose between Betamax and VHS. We chose Betamax, higher quality. That's why we chose Betamax. Betamax lost the format war to VHS. It was a much more expensive format. And once it became, by the early 80s, when everybody could go out and get a VCR, VHS won because it was simply cheaper, even though Betamax was the superior product. I miss the old Betamax. Yep, we had one back in the day. Let's do birthdays. Paul Hewson celebrates birthday today. How you doing, Paul? You might know him as Bono. He's the lead singer of U2. Great songwriter, humanitarian. Bono, 62 years old today. Come Memorial Day weekend, this guy may become the first guy to ever win 5 Indianapolis 400s. That would be history. Nobody's ever done it. Helio Castroneves, 4-time Indy champion. He'll be racing on Memorial Day weekend. He's 48 years old today. And the longest-serving cast member in the history of Saturday Night Live. He's been with the cast for 20 years. Kenan Thompson. He was also the very first cast member for Saturday Night Live to be born after the show debuted. Kenan Thompson is 45 years old today. Got an opinion from Mike Mad Dog McNaughty. Joel Myrene is going to visit us. We're going to talk one more time about the Apple Valley Vinyl Record Expo. Don't miss that. But hey, it's Winning Wednesday. We got a $50 gift certificate from Jones of Washington. Their tasting room at the Pybus Public Market. Winner at ncwlife.com. Get in your entries. Winner at ncwlife.com. I'll draw the winner. They'll get a $50 gift card to the Jones Tasting Room at the Pybus. And we had a chance to sit down with Victor, who makes the wine. Continuing our profiles of some of the great merchants who have decided to call Pybus Public Market home, and Jones Winery is one of them. introduce yourself to our television family, my friend.
Hi, welcome. My name is Victor Palencia. I'm the winemaker for Jones of Washington Winery.
Not a bad gig for somebody in your line of work, isn't it?
Oh, I love it. It's a hard job, but someone's got to do it, and I'm a team player.
How did you fall into becoming a winemaker? I mean, that's a specialized field.
It is. This is actually my 21st vintage, so I've been making this for 21 years, and I guess you could say it's the wine that's keeping me looking young, but I did get an early start. I was very fortunate. I grew up in the small town of Prosser, and in Prosser it's very, very small. It's either a football or a wine town. Fortunately, I didn't run very fast, so I stuck to wine.
Smart move. Go Mustangs.
Go Mustangs, exactly. But I will say because it was such a very immersed community, I just lucked out that my neighbor had a winery. And ever since I've been a kid, I've basically been immersed in the wine business from the ground up, basically. So I started with Jones in 2008, and I guess the rest is history now.
And let's talk real quickly before we get into some of the more. I'm not an eniophile, but I know people who are eniophiles who just love wine and appreciate wine, and they sing the praises of Jones.
Oh,
they say you can charge twice as much a bottle and twice as much for a case and get away with it. It's that good. What's going on here?
It's definitely a fair statement, and I think part of that. I guess in a way, part of our emphasis is we want to bring not only just quality but value to the bottle, and the fact that we are a fully integrated company. We grow, we make it, we sell it. Everything's all in. We can pass a lot of the savings to the consumer. That being said, you can also keep the consistency of the product and of course the integrity of the product as well.
And you don't do a whole bunch of different wines. Some of the wineries that I see, they just do too many. Yeah. And then when you have a winery that does way too many vintages, way too many varieties, then they don't do any one real good. As opposed to you guys, you have a pretty limited box that you work in.
We
that
do.
You know that when that Jones label is on it, it's good.
Absolutely.
You know it.
Yep. No, I agree. And you nailed it. I think we have very firm, regimented process of isolating specific vineyards that we work with within our estate, and not just the vineyard, but specific spots in the vineyard. We get to pick what we get, and then the rest we sell to other wineries. The fortunate part about that is, for me as a winemaker, it's like a playing field. I get a chance to go look and say, okay, I want these 2 rows, I want these rows, and really bring the best quality to the consumer. And so
you're that particular.
Absolutely.
Oh wow.
And so every wine that hits the bottle is purposely done so. It's made with the purpose, not just as a backfiller or we have to make it. It's like no, we it's by design. So that's something we're proud of, and I hope our consumers are proud of also.
How do you know you got a good one going? How do you know this cab is going to be real good this year, or this Merlot, or this?
Oh boy,
I know it's a loaded question.
No, it is. It's a huge job, but I will say, even 21 years of doing this, I still owe a lot to just intuition, and I follow my passion in wine. Now, that being said, it definitely starts in the vineyard. So having the appropriate growing sites, obviously the appropriate viticulture practices, growing practices, all of that integrates into the bottle. So me as a winemaker, my job is just to basically flagship those qualities from the vineyard to the bottle, and a lot of it's just intuition. You can tell. Like I can tell when something's going to be special.
2022 vintages are out now. I'm going to ask you to tip your hand. Give me 4 or 5 bottles that I'm going to want to take and put in my darkest, deepest cellar and open it up in 15 years and know it's going to be phenomenal.
I would say, so the whites are what's out on the market now. Grab the Viognier while you can. It's flying off the shelves, and it's definitely, I think it's one of the few varieties, or one of the many varieties, I should say, that benefited from the season that we had last year. So I would say the Viognier, the Pinot Gris, and the Rosé are showing beautifully. I don't know if I necessarily would put them away, but there's something to consume this summer. I will say some of the reds that we have coming off the 2022 season, a Carmenere and our new Grenache are phenomenal. So something to keep an eye out for.
Okay, one more question, then I'll cut you loose. I know you're a busy guy. Let's talk about the 2023 growing season. Cold, well, cool anyway, but colder than normal spring in April, and then a sudden heat wave, and then it's going to be pretty sunny and fairly mild from this point forward. Is that good?
Sunshine's phenomenal, yes. Okay. Sunshine's good. The wine grapes, especially our wine grapes, we're on hillsides. Most of our vineyards are sloped. They benefit from great sunshine, and we have beautiful long growing days. The days are getting longer, a lot more sunshine. All of that's just going to add to the impactful flavors we add in every bottle.
And you've been in this for 21 years?
21 years.
And you're right, you look young.
Thank you.
Victor is 73 years old, by the way.
Yeah,
in case you
it's
didn't
just
know.
good wine.
It's just good wine. Thank you for spending some time with us.
Cheers.
I appreciate it.
Absolute pleasure. Cheers.
We'll be back.
You are ready to earn your BSN degree, and we know you need a special place to take the next step in your career. You are an engaged learner who needs modern labs and equipment, hands-on support, and small class sizes. You're a busy adventurer who needs trees, mountains, rivers, and trails. As a learner, as a future RN, as an adventurer, find it in the BSN program at Wenatchee Valley College.
Walkabout Grill, open 7 days a week for lunch and dinner in downtown Wenatchee and now downtown Leavenworth, where eating out is eating healthy.
Mad Dog McNutty, and everybody is entitled to my opinion. Now, I've always been pretty conservative, going back to my long hair hippie days, and I guess I always will be, but for the last two presidential elections, I did not vote Republican. And if what's-his-face is the nominee this time around, I won't vote Republican again. Now, some of my Democrat friends will say, oh, you're finally coming around. Well, the truth is I'm not coming anywhere. I haven't changed much at all. Quite frankly, it's the Republican Party that's changed, and they're driving me away. And the Democrats haven't been all that attractive either. And I don't think I'm the only one who thinks this way. This is Mike Mad Dog Magnotti, and everybody is entitled to my opinion.
Getting ready for the boating season is easy with the help of Bob File Boats and Motors. With marine technology changing fast, the service department stays up to date with the newest developments and factory certifications. They have what it takes to make boating fun and hassle-free for the season. Speaking of hassle-free, now's the time to get your boat ready for summer. Remember that starter that wouldn't start or trailer lights that didn't work? Don't be left on shore. Call Bob File's service department today and get ready for summer fun. Badger Mountain Brewery is your cure for boredom. Jam Night Mondays. Trivia Wednesdays. Live Music Fridays. And Sunday Brunch. There's always something brewing at Badger Mountain. So come join the party.
Los bebés nacen aprendiendo. En los primeros años de vida, 1 millón de conexiones neuronales se forman por segundo. El aprendizaje temprano es crítico. El programa de apoyo temprano para niños por medio de NCSD tienen profesionales listos para apoyar familias que tienen preocupación con el desarrollo de sus niños. Proveen recursos, información y apoyo individual en el hogar, en los condados de Chelan, Douglas y Grant. Favor de comunicarse. Los bebés no pueden esperar.
Welcome back to the program. Attention lovers of music, regardless of the format, be it records, CDs, tapes, or records, if you will. I want you to circle Saturday, the 13th day of May on your list, because all lovers of music are going to be gathering in one location. And Joel, I'll let you introduce yourself to our television family, if you don't mind.
Yeah, hi. My name is Joel, and I am putting on the first Apple Valley Vinyl Record Expo.
It's about damn time, too, if you don't mind me asking. So,
I was a little busy, so yeah.
Just a little backstory. Joel is a registered nurse at Confluence Health, and he does the follow-up. If you've been in the hospital and you're out of the hospital, you're going to get a call from this guy saying, everything okay? You're taking your meds? Thanks for coming by. Don't forget to pay your bill. So you're why the interest in this? Maybe a little background. Is this your thing? You're into the music scene, that kind of stuff?
Yeah, I some friends of mine and myself used to put on some kind of concerts in the late '90s, early 2000s, and so at the IOF Hall in Wenatchee. And so that's 25 years ago now, or 20 years ago. And we were just I was talking with a friend about kind of the old days and the shows there, and just kind of reminiscing. And he was, we're both vinyl collectors, record collectors, and we were both kind of talking about that. And a couple days later, I just kind of, was thinking about how there's nowhere in town to buy records, and thought that maybe I should put on a record show. And so that's kind of where the idea started. And obviously the choice of venue being the same venue we used to do shows at, just kind of for nostalgia's sake, and we have a lot of good memories in that hall. So.
Timing is perfect. For those of you who've been living underneath a rock, vinyl has been on the way back up for about a decade or so now.
Yep.
In fact, I believe vinyl outsold CDs from a physical standpoint for the first time in a long time, a couple of years ago. Of course, still most people consume their music with digital downloads on those various sites. But people are getting back into vinyl. I never went away from vinyl, for that matter. So the timing is good, isn't it?
Yeah, I think especially, I didn't know what the interest as far as like if it was going to be a younger demographic or older, and it's really spanned across the board. But for sure, the younger demographic, I'm 45, but I feel like, 20-year-olds, 30-year-olds are really getting into it, and it's interesting to see the resurgence of it, and why that is, I don't know if it's because music is streaming now and records are something tangible you can hold, and if you cancel your Spotify, you have nothing, But records, you have this beautiful piece of artwork and everything that you can still hold on to. And
if you have a fairly decent system, a good turntable, a good stylus, and a good stereo receiver amplifier speaker setup, the sound quality is superior.
It is, yeah. Yep.
It's as simple as that.
Yeah.
But I mean, it does take some investment. But if you're willing to do that, if you want to enjoy your music at a high quality, which I think most of us do, analog beats digital. No compression. You get a certain warmth and ambiance that digital simply can't provide.
Yeah, as long as you got the right equipment, for sure, it's unbeatable.
What's your records collection look like? What do you specialize in? Any one genre or anything like that?
I feel like recently it's kind of been a lot of 70s classic rock, and then a lot of Americana stuff. Just really got into some 70s classic rock recently. Maybe in the last 5 years or so, kind of rock in general, garage rock, stuff like that.
So 70s rock, with there's a big demand for that.
Yeah.
And of course in the 70s it was records.
Yeah.
About 70% of the music was purchased as records, either 45s or vinyl. Cassettes a little bit, and 8-tracks, of course, were already on their way out. So
yeah,
you probably don't have too hard of a time actually finding some of the stuff.
No, there's so many of those records pressed that and they're actually not that expensive. So
so you got 20 some odd vendors, right?
Yep, we'll have essentially 27 tables set up, so 27 vendors, and I think 24 of those are probably selling records. There's going to be someone selling vintage clothing. And then just today we got confirmed, Mark Pickrell from the Screaming Trees, the drummer, he's going to have, he's got a shop called Road Trip Records in Ellensburg. So he is going to have his table there with records, vintage clothing, and maybe a few other kind of cool things too. So.
And people ask, I used to own a record store, of course, here in town for 5 years after Bob Godfrey retired, the late great Bob Godfrey. I bought his store and ran as best as I could for 5 years. I got Walmarted and Hastings to death. These things happen. People say, how does Ellensburg have a record store and Wenatchee doesn't? Well, it's a college town. That's probably the number one reason.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. Again, when we were thinking about starting this, the closest, I think, is Ellensburg for a record store, and otherwise you're Spokane or Seattle.
Right, for stores that exclusively cater to records and music. as opposed to Target, which has a nice music selection and nice. I hear Walmart. I don't go to Walmart. I wouldn't know, but they understand the market. These people aren't idiots, which is why when you go to Target and you go to the electronics section, you see vinyl.
Yeah.
In their selection, and they sell them.
Yeah, I mean, you know, it must be popular if they're having it in their store because they're there to make money. So that's kind of a key indicator there.
So you got the word out. You didn't know if this was going to be work or not. You called it the first annual, which I think takes a little chutzpah, and there's going to be a second one. So are you surprised by the fact that you got?
Yeah.
That you sold out essentially?
I'm very pleasantly surprised. So I was thinking maybe we would have 10 tables would be a success. And we just do the bottom floor of the hall, but now we're doing the top and bottom floor of the hall, 27 tables. I could do more. I don't want to make it too packed out. I want to have plenty of room for people to get around and just so they can kind of flow freely. And but yeah, and it's free to the public. There's no admission cost to get in. And
I was looking on your Facebook page, and I see in the comments section a lot of names I recognize.
Oh, yeah.
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 From the local music scene, and those who are into collecting vinyl, mostly vinyl.
Yeah. So. I'm hoping it brings a lot of those people out again. And that's another thing. Like, it's going to be really interesting to see kind of all these people come out, you know, buy some records, look at some records, but also we're going to have Wenatchee and probably North Central Washington, I guess would be a better descriptor. Concert posters dating back from the 50s to current day.
Yeah, I got a couple. I'll show a couple of. Now, you had a couple of years ago, about 3, 4 years, maybe even 4 years ago, the Wenatchee Valley Museum and Cultural Center did a 6-month-long kind of history of rock and roll, specifically rock and roll music in the North Central Washington area. All these bands that started in the late 50s and went right into the early 70s. They had some of the original labels and posters and stuff, and there's one of them. I'll just hold this up. So you went out and you got a PDF, or you got a flash drive with about 100 posters, and you printed these up, and you're going to be hanging these all over the place.
Yeah, I think the number now is up to probably 250 or so. So they'll be all over the upstairs and downstairs, so people can kind of go on that kind of musical journey as well, too.
And typical band names from the time. You got Moss Dog, you got the Furies, you got the Nomads.
Yeah.
Yeah, so... And a lot of these folks who are still around are still playing music too.
Oh yeah.
You brought a couple of examples with you.
Yeah. So also with part of the expo, we're going to have a local music tie-in, and I'm hoping to
Which makes perfect sense.
Yeah. So this year, the first record will have. This is by a local band called Datura.
Here, I can hold that up. Talk about
so they are, local Wenatchee band. Unfortunately, the record sold so well that they won't have copies of that specific record.
That's too bad.
But they will have CDs and cassettes, and then we'll have a QR code where you can pre-order the repressing of that record.
And as you can tell by the album cover, it's all ballads.
Yeah. And then the next record is by, my brother played bass on this record, so the Apache Rifles, and that record came out in 2014. They pressed a bunch, and they immediately broke up.
Right. So they went to L.A., right? And
this is
a very professionally done, mixed, mastered with some industry pros.
Yeah, they took a long time with that album, and it is so good. It needs to get out there. So actually, the Apache Rifles record is going to be. We're just going to sell it at cost at around $10.
And how many copies of those are still hanging around?
I'm going to have about 30 or so on hand for the show.
Do I need to be first in line when this thing starts?
I think I can set one aside for you.
Okay, I would appreciate that. So you obviously the response has been rather overwhelming.
Yeah.
I'm expected to see some people who I know down there as well. Give us the maybe some of the more specifics about the date and the time and all that stuff. We already mentioned it, but I want to mention it again. We'll throw the poster up one more time too. Give us that stuff, Joel.
It's Saturday, May 13th, and it's 11 a.m. To 5 p.m. Free admission to the public, and it's at the Oddfellows Hall. So it's the IOOF Hall at 601 North Chelan in Wenatchee.
And you did not do this yourself. You had some help with some other people that put this thing on.
Yeah, so Ron Evans with The Comet. The Comet magazine has been, they are a sponsor, and he's been a tremendous help. So he's kind of been my go-to for questions. And I've also had some help with some friends. Cynthia, kind of as an advisor to run ideas by, and Idea Board Shop is also a sponsor.
Okay.
And I have some day of, quite a few day of runners and help for staff in that way too. Yeah.
And there might be some experts there. I've consulted on any number of times with people who don't really know what they have. I have a good knowledge of it, but if you're not sure, bring some of your old vinyl down. And, there'll be some people down there who let you know, hey, this is something you might want to keep, or this is something you can sell for a nickel and be happy to have that profit.
Yeah.
So it's you have to really know what you're talking about, have knowledge of what we're doing.
Yep.
So
yeah, there would definitely be some people that are vinyl experts there for sure.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And not just vinyl, will be some folks will be selling some CDs and cassettes and even some 8-tracks.
Yep. Yeah, all that kind of stuff. Probably we'll have some CDs, but I was kind of hoping more for like cassettes and 8-tracks and other formats that aren't so, CDs you can kind of get anywhere used, but kind of the more rare stuff and that you wouldn't see every day. Yeah.
Come down and see us. I say us. I just tip my hat. Guess what I'm going to be doing on Saturday the 13th. Joel, it's good to see you. Again, they have a Facebook page. Check it out. Yep. Be sure to comment and head on down to the old IOF Hall on 600 block of Chelan, North Chelan, on Saturday the 13th, and check it out. Thanks for taking some time with me. I appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
I hope it goes well, and I'll be seeing you on the 13th.
Yeah, we got to do the second annual.
Yeah,
you do the first annual, you have to do the second.
There won't be no second annual. It went so well, everybody sold their records. Thanks, Joel. I appreciate you coming by.
Thank you.
You're watching Wake Up Wenatchee Valley. We'll be right back.
Get ready for your Memorial Day camping experience at Click It RV Moses Lake. We've got the lowest price on any RVs in the Pacific Northwest, featuring Grand Design and Flagstaff, and including Solitude, Momentum Toy Haulers, Reflection, Imagine, and Transcend. It's Click It RV's on-site pricing sale, May 4th to the 14th. Click It RV is offering an exclusive 4.99% interest, plus receive a Furman 3600-watt generator with every purchase. So don't miss the on-site pricing sale right here at your neighborhood Click It RV on Frontage Road.
Hi, everybody. Dan Kuntz alongside Jesse Coble from Alpine Air. We're switching from the cold of winter to the heat of summer. That can put a lot of stress in your HVAC unit.
Yeah, it really can, Dan. I would recommend that you get a maintenance. It can catch any potential problems that you might have during the peak of summer. And it's just a good idea to do on all season changes.
Great idea. Good advice. Turn to the experts at Carrier and Alpine Air for heat and air. Call Alpine Air. Thanks, Jesse.
Thank you.
If you are looking for dependable car service and repair, visit the good guys at Quick Lube and Tune. They've been keeping cars and trucks in the Wenatchee Valley running smooth for 35 years. Quick Lube and Tune is your hometown shop for a 10-minute oil change, complete tune-ups, alignments, brakes, mufflers, air conditioning service, and more. Get more life out of your vehicle by bringing it to the local guys you can trust at Quick Lube and Tune on South Wenatchee Avenue.
Shoot, I think I left my keys in the kitchen. Can you grab them?
Yep.
Find out?
What's this?
It's a locking bag. It keeps Grandma's medication safe.
But I could just take it.
Well, for one thing, it locks. And if it were gone, I know there's a problem.
Huh. Well played.
Help prevent opioid misuse before it starts. Visit getthefactsrx.com.
Hi. Helps if you have your mic on. Jones of Washington, a $50 gift card. I hope you enjoyed my visit with Victor. He's a good guy. I like him a lot. Knows what he's doing, too. The Jones of Washington Tasting Room at the Pybus Public Market. $50 gift card. Could be yours. Of course, you got to enter the contest. That's rule number one. If you don't enter the contest, you can't win the contest. Winner at ncwlife.com. Send me your email, winner at ncwlife.com. Don't forget, because this is a winery, it's a tasting room, you got to be at least 21 to enter the contest. Employees of Solion Broadcasting, Local Telecommunications, and their immediate families are not eligible. Sorry, Jordan. Can't win it, Jordan. And we'll give this away a little bit later on. But boy, the entries are coming fast and furious. $50 gift card to the Jones of Washington Tasting Room at the Pybus Public Market. Get your entries in. We'll do the drawing a little bit later on in the day. Enjoy this gorgeous weather. I don't know how I'm going to stay inside. From the National Weather Service, it looks something like this. You want sunshine and mild temperatures? How about 75 and sunshine? I like that. 51 for the overnight low. The ridge of high pressure is going to start building. It will get up to 78 on Thursday, into the 80s on Fridays. Beautiful weather for everybody. And then it starts getting a little hot. Saturday, our forecast high of 90. If we get there, that would be a new record high. The high on Saturday, the 13th, is 89. That was set back in 1963. We hit to 89 in 1963 on Sunday. And we have a forecast high of 93. So we could have some record-breaking temperatures coming our way. This has not been a secret. This has been a very well-advertised ridge of high pressure. It's monstrous, and it's going to make the rivers flow high and cold. And that's it for us. Have a great Wednesday. We'll see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.